Hello everybody, we should be live. We're on the Cornell campus looking around for hawks. Just arrived. Had to hurry to get here. At one point I thought, boy, I'm not going to make it in terms of, by my starting time. I had originally said 4:45, but then I made a stop, actually 2 stops along the way, and that put off the timing. Now, I haven't checked with the Nest Cam here on campus, but I imagine somebody is up there incubating an egg. If you hadn't heard the news, Big Red laid an egg yesterday. And she's been incubating it a bit. I don't know if it's to be termed the hard incubation. That may not actually occur until, if and when, other eggs are laid. I'm going to look up there right now very quickly. From this angle, I cannot see anyone in the nest. Hold on one second. No, I still can't see anyone from here. Hold on, I've got to, well... Hold on a second. The problem is, from here, the wall of the nest is built up to a point where it's difficult to see anything. So, one second. Okay, apparently Big Red is up there. I can see her now on the Nest Cam, but I can't see her from down here. So let's move on. We're gonna look around. She is, if you haven't seen the Nest camera view, she's hunkered down. And again, not from this angle down here, I cannot see her. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend a little bit of time. We don't have much time because we spent so much time in Montezuma and the stop along the way. We don't have too much time to really look around here on the campus. Come on, buddy. Come on. Okay. So we'll look for Arthur a bit and see if we can find him. And then I'd like to go to Sapsucker Woods. It's 48 degrees. As you can see, it's pretty cloudy, but not not really dark. So I'll take this lighting. This lighting's fine by me. It's good for seeing the birds, not necessarily good for lighting them for photographic purposes. If you want beauty, but we'll take it. sometimes we'll be here late in the, in the afternoon, and the sun is shining and it's setting, and it's actually very difficult to really see well, because half the time the sun's in our eyes. Oh, hold on. Probably a turkey vulture. Yeah, I think I just saw a turkey vulture. I saw something in the air, and I didn't know if it was a hawk or not, but it seems to be. I'm getting another look at it now. Yes, it looks like a turkey vulture. So with Big Red on the nest, we're looking for Arthur on the campus. I've mentioned before in prior years that, once the nesting season begins, if you think about it, I mean, we may know where a hawk is, but in terms of seeing the hawks out and about here on the campus, well, all of a sudden we have fewer of them around, because some of them are tending to the nests. Now, in case you aren't aware, you don't need to expect there to be an adult hawk on the nest keeping the eggs warm 24/7. They will sometimes fly away from them and leave them just for a short period of time, especially if it's a little warmer. But they can afford to do that because they keep them warm enough that sometimes I think they need to actually leave them so they cool just a bit. I'm not an expert, and I don't pretend to be, but I believe the hawks do well to really regulate the temperature of the eggs. And if you tune in to the Cornell red-tailed hawk nest cam, you'll see, on occasion that the eggs are turned around or turned over. So I mean, they're definitely cared for. It's not just a matter of laying the egg and then sitting on top of it. Now that the nesting season is, without any doubt underway, Big Red's mate Arthur will be, he'll be doing maybe all or very nearly all the hunting. So he'll, provide for himself, and he'll provide for Big Red. Well, she tends to the nest. I don't know, for instance, if she'll do much, if any, hunting. And now, who knows? I mean, there will be times when she'll take a break from the nest. I saw this morning on the nest cam. I took a quick look, and Arthur was on the nest, and Big Red had left. She probably didn't go very far, but she took a break, stretched her, maybe stretched a little bit. Who knows? But maybe on those little timeouts that she has, maybe she hunts a little bit, especially if something is, comes along and is an easy victim. What is he looking up at? Is he looking up at something? No. Nice that there's no sporting event to interfere with our access to this parking lot. However, I don't see any hawks. Going back to, you know, the ability to see hawks. So as I said, you know, now with hawks tending nests, sure, there are fewer of them out and about. But then, you know, assuming that young are successfully raised and they successfully leave the nest, then, you know, we could have a period of time when there are lots of hawks around. And in prior years, if you're new, in prior years, you know, we've seen, like, you know, Big Red and Arthur raise 3 young each year. Well, last year was their first year together, and in prior years it was Ezra and Big Red. But, you know, having 3 young in the area, especially shortly after they leave the nest, when, you know, they don't go too far away, it's relatively easy to see, you know, hawks, because they don't stray far from the nest, and all of a sudden you've got 5 hawks around. Certainly the 3 youngsters, and, you know, their parents will hunt for them on behalf of them. So it can be quite a treat to come and see the young on the campus. Always have to worry about them, of course. And again, you really have to worry about the adults too. They can have problems too. Nobody on Sage that I see. But anyway, it can be, you know, quite a treat to see, you know, the young on the campus as they learn to improve their flight skills, and eventually see them doing some hunting on their own. It's a real pleasure. And, you know, just going back to last spring and early summer, really enjoyed some of what we saw. Much of what we saw, really. And, you know, as for seeing what we did, if it's all, you know, a credit to these mobile streaming, live streaming platforms. Because if you think about it, you know, that first year that Cornell was streaming from the Nest, 2012, once shortly after they left the Nest, that was it. And you know, now that we're able to do this, and you know, we can follow the Hawks, and I think we get to know them a lot better than I'm guessing anyone had imagined we would. That first year, even though we weren't streaming on a mobile basis, people were watching the Hawks, you know, especially in the early days after they left the Nest. I mean, so, you know, we knew, but it was a lot more difficult to share what they were doing. You know, you'd have to write it into the chat room. Maybe some people would post things to Facebook or whatever. Now, you know, we can stream it live and share it live, and that is a wonderful thing, I have to say. I feel very unfortunate that it's that we don't have a great blue heron nest at Sapsucker, and haven't for a few years now. It would have been you know, great to have a nest there and to get the perspective that we can from the ground, and you know, just would have been nice to share that. But who knows, maybe one of these days, years, maybe a pair of great blue herons will nest again at Sapsucker. I hope so. It was really a treat to see the nest there. Also, I mean, to have the adults around and to have, you know, up to 5 young in the nest, and it would be quite the sight to see an adult go up there and then feed the young, and they would all be making noise, and it was just a nice thing to see. And as I said, I regret the fact that we're not able to do that these days, but especially because, for me anyway, I have better gear that would allow us a closer, better look. And you know, there was a camera in that nest, if you didn't know, and it gave a very good view of such feedings. But you know what? Sometimes I think the view from the ground was actually better. It's just a matter of getting close enough from the ground. I think we could actually get fairly close, but now there's no nest there. But over the last, you know, even though the nest is no longer there, we still see continued great blue heron presence at Sapsucker, so who knows, maybe somebody will decide to build a nest there one of these years. I remember when there were 2 great blue heron nests there. 1 or 2 years that happened. Definitely 1. I'm not sure if there was a second one or not. I believe just 1. I can't remember. I think the second year somebody obviously didn't like the fact that there was another heron nest, or at least they started taking sticks from the second heron nest. Much time, so maybe I'm going to start making my way towards Sapsucker very soon. Last week, we really didn't see Arthur much. I caught a glimpse of him when he kind of flew over my car and flew out of my sight very quickly. Given the time, I think I'm going to start heading towards Sapsucker right now. Maybe a little more searching would have us finding him, but I don't want to risk having, having it be too dark for us at Sapsucker. He might be nearby, I don't know. If I have to guess though, I bet he's hunting somewhere because he needs to hunt for himself and for Big Red. Keep doing it. imagine many of the robins have returned to the campus, although I haven't necessarily seen a lot of them like I've seen elsewhere. And then again, I'm not looking for them right now. But anyway, it won't be long before it's warm enough to really drive around a lot with the windows open, and we can possibly benefit from the robins' vocalizations alerting us to the presence of hawks. We're taking a detour, by the way. Just want to take a quick look at something. Not sure if I can if I'll be able to see what I want to see. We're heading towards the cliff nest just to see if it's being used this year and what the story is. But, you know, I know that it's difficult to see it from the car, so I don't know. And I don't really want to take the time to park the car, get out of the car, go to the bridge, and deal with everything. Now, traditionally, cell phone coverage has not been great, you know, where the cliff nest is, so I may lose you. I don't know. Actually, as I recall, it wasn't too bad last times we were hurt. It may be that, you know, no egg has been laid yet and no one's actually there, so who knows? Or it might not be used at all. I don't know. And I'm not sure if I can see it from the car at all. Can't see it from here. And I've got a car behind me, of course. We'll try again in a minute. Just turn around. I see 3 Canada geese in the air. Try again, see if maybe I can catch a glimpse if I look in the right spot. I don't know if I really looked in the right spot. The nest actually is not easy to see with the naked eye. It's the nest that we've looked at in prior years is you know, blends in rather well with its immediate surroundings. Car again. All right, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna leave you in the car. Oops. and I'm just going to go take a quick look. Okay, I'll be right back. Well, I saw the nest. There's nobody in it, and which isn't necessarily surprising. I mean, Big Red just took to her nest yesterday. But I'd also say, by the looks of it, there's no sign of any activity in terms of refurbishing it or anything like that. It looks like most of the material there is just disintegrated, you know, sticks, and there's no greenery. It just doesn't look like a maintained nest. So it's really too bad. I wish those hawks well. I hope that they're nesting elsewhere, and I heard they had nested elsewhere last year anyway, and it could be they're reusing that nest. But that nest really is a wonderful one for us in terms of viewing, if you're unfamiliar with it, because we can, from that bridge, assuming we get out of the car and everything, into that nest and even get some good close-ups from there. So it's unfortunate that they seem not to be using it. You know, first Big Red and Arthur, I'm sorry, Ezra, and then Big Red and Arthur, would they be used, you know, which nest would they use? And we've, you know, over the years that Cornell has been streaming from Big Red's nest, there had been, you know, switches in locations. Now, last year and this year, she has, you know, they've chosen what is labeled as the Furno nest across from, you know, across the road from Furno Hall, or closer to Furno Hall, that is, rather than the one near Weil Hall, which is just down the road. So, you know, for the hawks of the cliff nest, that's Fall Creek, by the way, for them to, you know, have a different location, it's really not necessarily that surprising. It's just unfortunate that, you know, they're not using that nest, which was so convenient for us. We may, you know, go back, you know, sometime soon to check on it again, but like I said, judging by the condition of it, it doesn't look like it's been worked on much at all, if at all, this year. So it could be they are at a different location. That's the first time I've checked the cliff nest this year. I had thought about maybe stopping there before the tour started, but I didn't want to spend time, you know, driving into there. I just wanted to get to the other locations that are closer to Montezuma, so I could look for snowy owls, which I didn't find. Today I've seen red-tailed hawks. I have seen some eagles. I heard when we were up on the platform at Shockey Pool, I heard them mention that there was a harrier. I didn't see it. I don't believe I looked in the right spot, but I didn't see it. And I've seen turkey vultures. I haven't seen any other raptors all day. I mean, I haven't seen any Cooper's hawks or Merlins or any other type of hawk or anything. No American kestrels. It's all a matter of timing, of course. Hey, Robin just flew right in front of my car. Stay away from the road. Did see on my way back after closing up from that area where we were watching the snow geese on Cayuga Lake, I saw a short while after that an adult bald eagle, and it was in a tree and not too far from the road. Maybe the branches would have kind of been in the way, but it might have been a very good close-up. It wasn't really looking towards me, but I didn't want to take the time and stop. Once we get to Sapsucker, I'm going to need a few minutes to take care of a few things before we can walk. Arthur and maybe even Big Red from ground level, but again, I couldn't see her from here, or from the ground. In time, you know, assuming all goes well, we'll probably be able to see her, you know, as she occasionally stands up, or and if everything is successful, you know, we'll see, maybe we'll see the young from ground level. But a day like today, she's you know, she was hunkered down, and there's no seeing over that nest cup. If I had been farther back and had, you know, an angle that was less steep, maybe I would have been able to see her. I'm not sure. That, and, you know, climb the hill a little bit, for instance. In front of one of the buildings, and maybe we would have had a view. I'm not sure. And again, you can. The angle might be different, but you can really see pretty well from, you know, Cornell's nest cam. Are they starlings? I think so, yes. Maybe 2 or 3 of them. Testing yet. It's maybe a little early for that. But depending on who's where and how sensitive they are, you know, you can come here to the parking lot, and maybe some goose will be voicing and showing its displeasure with you. I've seen that happen on multiple occasions. Okay, I need a few minutes. Our walk is not going to be all that long. Change the batteries in the gloves, but I think I might be able to get away with what I've got. Okay, everything's all tangled here as usual. Don't know how it got so tangled, but it did. I should actually check on that. Okay. Looks like we are up and running. I thought we were, but you know. Actually overall felt colder than I had thought it would. today. You know, seeing the forecast, seeing 53 degrees as a high, although I have not myself seen any temperatures in the 50s according to my thermometer, but I just thought it would feel a little warmer today than it has felt. Part of that was the wind. Especially at East Road. Just untangled all the wires, and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if they're all tangled by the time I get everything back out of the car again. Okay, I'll be with you in a minute. Saw a couple Canada geese flying by. I don't know if they're going to circle around. And I'm hearing robins, a northern cardinal. Just heard a tufted titmouse. I'm almost set. Sorry, it's taking me so long. I'm also hearing grackles and red-winged blackbirds. I don't drink, but these wires are going to drive me to do it. We're just about ready. Welcome, everybody, to Sapsucker Woods. So we're hearing the tufted titmouse. Peter, 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 Peter. Don't know where it is, although I might have just seen it. Yeah, I did just see it, but I can't show it to you just by where it is. And I just heard a song sparrow. Robin. So let's have a walk here. Depending on what we see, another cardinal maybe. Depending on what we see, we may go back to the campus. It matters how much time we spend here. Anyway, you're hearing a cardinal, a northern cardinal sing. I'm not sure if it's another cardinal or the same one as before. Sounds like it's not far away, but I don't see it. I don't see it. What is that noise? What is that noise? Is it a squirrel? Yeah, there's a squirrel in the... Why is it vocalizing like that? That's an alert call. Now, it could be because of me, but I really doubt it. I wonder if something else is nearby. But I'm not hearing other, by the way, we're hearing chickadees, but I'm not hearing other alert calls. But the squirrel, whom I would guess is at least somewhat used to people being around, especially given its location now, and I wasn't really close yet at the time. My point is, I don't believe it was vocalizing because of me. So far I've seen 6 geese. I didn't show you the first 2 that I saw, but I mentioned them. What's that out there? Is that a hooded merganser? Yes, 2 hooded mergansers way out there. Far enough, I should say. Maybe we'll get a better look, but they're out there, male and female. There's the cardinal up here. The one that's been singing. I don't know why that squirrel is doing that. I didn't see anything Unless there's one in the trees that I just don't see. I didn't see any raptor or anything in the... Oh! Who's flying over there? Okay, those were the... There's a male hooded merganser right there. And the female flew the other way. Now I can't see him because of where he flew. And she went that way somewhere, but... And they were probably the two that I had... Oh, here's a hawk. Haven't seen a red-tailed here in a while. But I don't think it's... Hi, baby. I doubt that the squirrel could be vocalizing because of that. I doubt I can even see it. Unless it was somewhere. It just flew up to that perch. So maybe, well, no, I still don't believe that the squirrel knew where it was. I think I may have just heard a nuthatch. I may be hearing a chip note from a song sparrow right now. And I am hearing a nuthatch. And I just heard a mallard. Did I just hear a belted kingfisher? Sorry, I can't get a good sharp focus. The mergansers, at least the male, I can see him from here. So there's a hooded merganser. And you can see he's got the white patch on his head fully in view. The crest. Back to the red-tailed hawk. I wish I could do a better job getting it within view. Maybe from here, believe it or not. Not much better. I hear a mourning dove. Are you talking to me? And so there's some geese in there as well. Hope I'm not stepping on anything. Oh, who just flew by? Maybe the song sparrow I was hearing. I can't really see the red-tailed hawk from here. We're gonna move on. Let's look over here again at the mergansers. There's the male, and I don't know who just dove, if that was the female or not. I don't know how many mergansers are here. Oh, so there are at least two males and a female. Aren't they beautiful? I wish I had my scope, and I wish they were closer even. Especially on this beautiful smooth water. There's still some snow and ice here, but it's not bad. I'd say the pond is, at least from this view, mostly thawed. There's there's some large patches of ice yet. Let's look at these two Canada geese while we're here. Bottoms up. I find Canada geese, when they're on smooth water like this, and they're just peaceful, it's absolutely beautiful. And it's always a treat when you can even hear just the noise, whatever noise they make in the water. Meaning it's that peaceful. And maybe these geese are accustomed to people. It's very possible, but it's nice that they're relatively close to me. They're watchful, there's no doubt, but they can see I'm not doing anything and I'm not going in the water, and so maybe they're okay with me. We're gonna move on. I don't have to walk any further if I want, and I've already enjoyed my walk here. Robin. And I think I heard a starling. What was that? Oops. Where are you? I can't tell what that is. Hold on. That was a song sparrow. Okay. I just couldn't focus on it. Sorry. Another robin. Chickadee up here, black-capped chickadee. Where is it? Somebody just flew by. I'm not sure what it was. Smaller bird. Uh-oh. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, I gotta check something. Wait, hold on. Is that, what is that? Oh, tree stump, okay. Now, I don't know if that red-tailed hawk is still in this area. That's where I last saw it, but I had lost sight of it. I do see Canada geese there. And I don't know, maybe it was coincidence, but when the hawk flew to where we last saw it, all of a sudden those geese were vocalizing. I didn't even know they were there until they... Hold on a second. Okay. I didn't even know they were there until they did. but I don't see the hawk, and I don't know if it's around or not anyway. Quite honestly, it's kind of an odd area for them to be, for a hawk to be, given the water down here. I may have heard a rattle of a belted kingfisher. I'm not sure. Haven't heard it clearly yet without any other sounds being made at the time. So, but I think there may be a kingfisher here. Just heard a downy woodpecker. What am I hearing? I thought I heard something. I don't know how I'd describe the sound, but I thought I heard something. Maybe not. I don't know. Tufted titmouse for hearing again. Don't know if it's a different one or the same one. Beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it. As I said before, we're heading into the noisy season here at Sapsucker. The Canada geese will make a fair amount of noise, most likely, and we'll be hearing, you know, red-winged blackbirds and grackles, but also, you know, many other birds that are either singing mating songs or courtship songs, I should say. Or just singing in general for territorial purposes, whatever. And of course, there's always the possibility we'll hear the tree frogs in certain areas, and they can be quite loud. With the tree frogs, it's like, I don't know, somehow I notice them more now, but in the past it's been like, I'll hear them, but it's as if it's quiet, and then I realize, no, it's really noisy. It's just the kind of, you know, the nature of the sounds that they make. You know, maybe if I'm listening for birds, I'm not hearing any birds, okay, fine. And then I realized, but there's all this noise, and it's the tree frogs. I think it's a little early to hear them. So I mean, it's still you know, we're still in March. There's still some snow and ice on the ground, so it's a little early yet for tree frogs. While I'm here, I'm going to look around just a little bit. I'm not taking a long walk, but I want to just walk this way a little. Right here, well, I can't show you, but the trail is of a certain width, but like half of it has apparently looks like it's sunken, or at least maybe this portion is just raised. But it's if you're not paying attention, it can be somewhat treacherous walking. You just have to know, just be careful not to walk on the very edge where you could fall. I think I just heard a crow. Okay, just wanted to look around a little bit. There's some people on the trail coming up behind us. They look like they're here just for walking purposes. Just by the speed they're walking, and they're not really looking around. Not very much anymore. Same thing about the trail here. It's like raised at the center, and the sides are lower by like maybe 2 to 3 inches, I'd say. And even the center here has areas that are sunken for whatever reason, as if like people stepped there and really managed to push the ground in, and then things refroze or something. I don't know. I'm keeping my eyes open, mostly for barred owls. We're in their territory. Haven't seen any in weeks. Maybe the luck we had for a couple weeks was a fluke. And one was spending a lot of time out in the open for people to see. But I don't see anybody around just yet, anyway. I'm sure they're around. It's just a matter of finding them. Glad we saw that red-tailed hawk there. As I said before, we haven't been seeing red-tailed hawks here at Sapsucker like we used to. And if we have seen them, it's been mostly near the road. Just in that general area, or near, near Sapsucker Woods Road, sometimes closer to Kip's Barn, on the poles there, but not so much within the woods, and that was closer to within the woods. Although I guess sometimes they're still seen. A hawk might be seen on top of the former nest tree, but the grateful heron nest tree, that is. But as I've said before, I mean, when I used to take still photos here, and even once the tour had begun, I used to see red-tailed hawks in this area, this stretch right here. Just haven't been seeing that. And I realized that as we've gone to other places, we've had maybe a little less time to spend here at Sapsucker, but we're just not seeing them really at all. So right now we're hearing Canada geese, common grackles, red-winged blackbirds. And things haven't really warmed up yet. I think I just heard a starling. Maybe a mixed flock that just flew over, a small one, just 4 or 5. But starling may have been in there. Shouldn't be long before we start seeing, you know, some green here and there, buds in the trees, and more species returning. Hearing titmouse again, tufted titmouse. Why they call a bird a tufted titmouse, I have no idea. I know it has a tuft, but a little crest on its head. That was a song sparrow, and I think I see it. Won't be able to show it to you very well, but okay, I don't want to bother the song sparrow too much. Let me just have a quick look out here, see if there's anything within view. No, not really anyway. It's mostly smooth water. Without ice or lily pads. For the time being. I see a flying insect around me or two. So it's already starting. Okay, let's, oh, the song sparrow has flown on. now with this change of perspective, you still don't see anything. But okay, there's Canada Goose over there. All right, let's keep going. Treacherous walking here, places where the roots are really poking through. They have been for some time. I don't believe they remulched here last year. Maybe they did, I don't remember, but it needs it again anyway. Yes, they did. It was nice seeing all those great blue herons today at in Montezuma. Oh, is our hawk up there? I think our hawk is up here. And down below, Canada geese, and there are a couple mallards there. But the red-tailed hawk is up here. Sorry, just situating things here. We won't watch it very long because I'm holding this by hand. Oh, those are male common mergansers. They were here. Good to see you. I saw the white with the naked eye. I don't know if there are any female. Oh, okay. So these are hooded mergansers, smaller than the commons. And on the left is the male. The right, the female. Her head is kind of tucked back in. She's either preening or snoozing. And then the male common mergansers are right here. They both turn around. Good to see them. And then, oh, our hawk, where'd our hawk go? Our hawk is not there. Hold on, let me look around. No, I don't see our hawk. Not yet, anyway. Where'd the common organthus go? There they are. Good to see them. I wonder if they're going to head over to an area where we'll get a better look if we're on the other side of the pond. I kind of doubt it. They'll probably hang out where we won't be able to see them. We're going to keep moving because of limited time. Just want to look around a little bit. There was at least one Canada goose here. Like I said earlier, I think it's a little early for nesting, but it's possible to kind of claim new territory. I may be wrong, and maybe they're nesting, but I doubt it. Not just yet. Here, the answers. It's you know, I love November because usually by November the pond is smooth again without any lily pads, and March can be the same way. No lily pads, and assuming the snow and ice have melted, you get some nice beautiful water, and you know that'll be around until the lily pads start to grow in and make everything well, okay at first, but then ugly once they turn their ugly brownish color. Okay, let's keep going. They just, you know, like so much vegetation, they curl up as the warmer months progress, and eventually they're dried out and ugly looking instead of, you know, flat and green on the surface. They serve a purpose, though. For us, that is. You know, we've seen things on them, including green herons, which, you know, otherwise might not be where they were. So I don't mind them in that regard. You know, I speak of the smooth water, and I really like that look. And a couple of years ago, a branch had fallen into the water, and I was like, boy, that ruined the view. And I was kind of, you know, a little upset about it. And then since then, I've seen green herons use that branch many times, so it ain't so bad. Giving us some good opportunities to see them. Montezuma really has a lot of, the greater Montezuma area, I should say, many areas for us to visit and see birds, and it's wonderful. But the thing is, every time we visit a new place, it becomes something I want to see every week, you know. And there's only so much time in the day. It sounds like we've got geese in flight. Oh, maybe not. No, they're close by. I don't want to startle them. They're in the water. Watch where I'm walking here. You know, last week I nearly stepped in something. couple geese there. Some more. Okay, moving on. Hear a lot of noise coming from up ahead. Sounds like maybe a large, or at least somewhat large, flock of red-winged blackbirds and grackles, and maybe some starlings in there too. Who's that? Is that a cardinal? What are you doing, Mama? That pounding is probably from across the road, actually. Oh, I think I may have just seen a female cardinal. I'm not sure. And it sounds like there's more than one cardinal here. Well, maybe not. I just saw the male. Maybe he was the only one. So there are some starlings, grackles, I think, red-winged blackbirds, so it's a mixed flock. I don't know if there are any rusty blackbirds around. I don't know. Might be able to recognize the sound of one, but not with all that other noise being made. I could try to look at them all up there, but it's given where they are and how I I'd rather look at them with a scope. It's hard to see them well enough with my binoculars to see if maybe if there are any rusty blackbirds in amongst them. A couple robins. Fuller wetlands, still not completely, but largely covered in ice. I'm sure you can't walk on it, but oh, a couple mallards also. No, this one, oh, no, 2 mallards. Male and female. I think we'll go back to the water briefly just to have another check. You never know what could be around. And depending on how long we stay there, which may not be long, if I had to guess, maybe we'll go to the campus. There's still some light left. It'll take us a few minutes to get to the campus, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Arthur somewhere in the vicinity of the nest as the sky gets dark. We'll see. Well, maybe we won't see. This has been a nice walk, really. Maybe we didn't see anything that we've never seen before, but I've enjoyed seeing the mergansers, both the hooded and common. And it's nice to see the Canada geese here and there. The mallards. The red-tailed hawks, certainly. Song sparrows. There's another one to our, well, maybe a few to our right. 3, I think. And a cardinal. Hold on. And a female cardinal. So there was a male and a female. I'm going to walk this way. I don't want to bother the birds. So we've seen all these things. It's been a relatively nice walk. I mean, it may be on a relative basis cold, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's mid to upper 40s now. Hasn't been windy. So it's, and I'm bundled up a little bit, so it's just been a nice walk. we won't have much time if I do want to get us to the campus, and I'll need, you know, a minute or two once we get back to the car just to remove some gear, which I didn't use, didn't need. But I mean, it's going to get dark in a hurry. I think overall it's kind of been a nice day. I don't know, I don't believe I expected to see so many great blue herons already up there at Montezuma. It was nice to see as many as we did. I'd say the biggest disappointment up there was Shockey Pool. I thought that would be better. I think it's just too difficult to see the rookery well from that platform, so maybe we'll have to look at it from the road. Just wanted to check here, see if anything's going on. Oh, great. Goose droppings on the bridge. Wonderful. A little bit geese, but, you know. You know what? It's not the prettiest sunset. Let's not waste any time. Let's move right back to the car and see if we can get to the campus in time to see something. Okay? Okay. Still, I enjoyed the walk. What did I just hear? Did I hear a white-throated sparrow? Maybe. Maybe. And who's that on the ground? Oh, robin there. Cardinal over there. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if there are herons in the Ithaca area already, but you know, maybe it'll be a bit before they actually start showing up at Saffson. I don't know. Could, you know, they could show up any time actually, but. Anyway, if you had an urgent need to see a heron today, I think we provided well. Okay, let's see if we can get unpacked and get moving quickly. Try to get going as soon as I can. Just saw a flock of gulls fly by. Pretty much in formation, I'd say. Okay, we're pretty much ready to go. Almost. Pretty much almost. I didn't push play. That sort of thing drives me crazy. You get in the car and it just starts playing music. I didn't tell it to play music. Bye, Robbins. Bye, sapsucker. Good to see you. Always. Like I said, it's going to get dark soon, so we may not have much time to search at all. We'll stay, I think, in the general vicinity of the nest once we reach campus. Maybe we'll be lucky enough to see somebody. Oh, large flock of birds flew out. I think it's another mixed flock. Quite a few starlings and grackles and red-winged blackbirds there. There's no way we're going to make this light. I know it. We all know it. See? Come on, Light, while we're young. I could play music, but in recent weeks, now maybe it's just what I've played, but in recent weeks, after after the tour, I've been receiving some notifications from YouTube indicating that because of such and such song, a particular video segment was blocked and is no longer available on YouTube. So I hesitate to play music because it's impossible to determine what is allowed and isn't allowed. I'm not trying to take away anyone's rights to their own music, certainly. And you could argue that this, the tour is educational in nature. I think the way we go about watching birds and studying them, I mean, it's not for anything other than learning about them and seeing them and experiencing them. And I certainly am not making any money off of this, so it's not like it's a for-profit endeavor on my part. I just like to play music sometimes because it's nice to listen to that music. I've played music for the tour, as I've mentioned in the past. I've played it from the very beginning. The first official tour we had, I played music while driving around. Here and there, back a little ways on the golf course, but even to our right on the field here, there are a few. It's amazing how Canada geese have come to be so prevalent in this, in the area here, and just in my area, my own area. I remember, when I was younger, you'd see the Canada geese flying overhead, twice a year, or two times of the year, I should say, spring and fall. And you might hear them up ahead and up above, and they'd be flying overhead, and that would be it. Just fly by and you wouldn't see them. Now, there are geese that live in the area year round, and not just like one or two. I mean, there are obviously quite a few of them. It's still have the ones that migrate. If we ever did see that's no way to cross the road. They're supposed to still walk, you know, if they're in the road, they're supposed to, okay, have the right of way, okay, fine. But you still have to look before you cross. If there's oncoming traffic, you don't cross. Doesn't mean you just can stop traffic. There'd be times maybe where you'd see Canada geese and you thought it was a special sighting. This is years and years ago. Special occasion, but now, like I said, you see them all the time, and I'm happy to see them. You know, I like seeing them. I realize they do make a mess, but I am certain they don't mean anything by it. No offense intended. Okay, just want to look at Bradfield, see if anyone's up there by any chance. I don't see anybody up there. Okay. There's a very good chance we won't see Arthur, but never know. Come on, move, boy. Get out and walk. Alright, I'm gonna look back up at the nest from here and see if I can see anything, but I doubt I can. No, I can't. No, I cannot. Like I said, though, I would not be surprised if Arthur is nearby, or if he'll at least come through the area as things get dark. What I should do, I need to check the Nest Cam 1 second here. Let's see who's up there. Okay, it looks like Big Red up there still. I don't know if she's going to be, if she's already had, or if she's going to be given a break and then return. I mean, we've seen that happen in the past where, I'm not sure if she would do that last year with Arthur, but in the past with Ezra, he'd come by for a while late in the day, be at the nest while she, went away, and then she would eventually come back. After just a short period of time. Oh, so hi. Hi, Arthur. Just flew overhead. Oh, come on, wires. Oh, come on, wires. My goodness. He just flew overhead. Just caught sight of him, and I don't know where he is now thanks to the wires. Thanks, wires. Thanks. Like I said, you're going to drive me to drink. He seemed to be headed that way, though, towards Judd Falls Road. Now, he might circle around, and while we're here. Hello, baby. Let me see. I don't see him, but he just, like I said, just flew. I don't think I ever got him on camera. He must have been in one of the way he was flying, in terms of high elevation, everything. He must have been in one of these trees right here. I had to guess, or on a lamppost or something. Either that, or else he had been descending from a higher elevation and was already on his way to land somewhere around here. I don't know where he went, though. It's the second week in a row. Last week he kind of flew over my head and couldn't get him, and now this week. I don't know if you saw him at all, though. The camera did catch him last week, but barely. I am glad to have seen it. But I'd like a better look. It's getting dark, so I mean it's tough to get it. It'll be tough to get a good look, but I don't know where he went because everything. It's my fault. I should have, after getting back in the car, I should have verified that all the. Oh, there he is again. That all the wires are free and clear, and he's flying. I can't get him now, but he flew that away. I think that was him. I believe that was him. Okay, let's head that way. It was a hawk anyway. Don't know if that was Arthur or not, but it was a hawk. Is that Arthur? Do I see Arthur? Is that Arthur? Is that Arthur? Is that Arthur or is that a crow? I think that's Arthur, but I'm not sure. That's Arthur. Or I should say it's a hawk. I don't know if it's Arthur. But. It's obviously very dark, so let's see if we can lighten things up a little bit. Oh, I have a teleconverter on. He's not close. Hey, we just saw you. Okay, I see him. Good to see you, young man. There's always a chance that this is another hawk and not Arthur. But I believe it is Arthur. Given where this hawk flew from. Doesn't look like he's going to be there long. I lost sight of him. Now I cannot see him now. He's, I don't know where he is. We'll wait for him here, see if he pops back up. But the building, the Cornell Print Services building, is blocking the view. I don't know if I could see there anyway, even if the building weren't there. I think if he doesn't pop up soon, we're going to head back towards the nest area. There's always a chance he'll fly on, and maybe he has even already done it, and taking a path that I'm not looking at, and you know, we might not be able to see him head towards the nest. I'm just guessing he's going to go towards the nest, but I may be wrong. I think I'm going to switch cameras now. Might as well. Even if it's only for a brief period of time, and you know, under dark conditions. Let's head back towards the nest, just in case he decides to come back through that area. Come on, let's go. I had seen him just a little bit earlier while we were, you know, up here when he was, if I had to guess, you know, perched on something a lot lower and closer. I don't know where he was. Assuming he was there, he may have been just flying through. I don't know. I think we're gonna kind of stay right here and see if he comes around. While we're waiting, I'm going to remove the teleconverter from the scope because I don't need it here, I don't believe. And if anything, it might actually make things worse. So we're obviously looking at the nest. Oh, right. Just caught some sight of some movement. But you can see, very difficult to see anything with the nest built the way it is. Right now I'm just kind of hoping that Arthur decides to come by. Maybe give Big Red a brief break, although it's getting dark, so maybe he won't. So while you're looking at the nest, I'm looking around just to see if maybe he pops up into view. I wouldn't mind seeing him as he flies in, if that's what he's going to do. Kind of doubtful. It's getting, like I said, it's getting dark, but maybe he will. Oh, if he was here 30 minutes ago, then chances are he's not coming back. I just checked the chat room. I didn't know that. I wish I had known. Well, we could go looking for him, but I think at this point it's so dark, maybe it's not worth it. Especially because I have no idea where he went to. And he probably, if he flew to the ground like I suspect he might have, he may have moved on from there anyway. So maybe he's already finding a roosting spot for the night. And maybe it's time for us to pack up ourselves. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you one quick video if I can. It'll be difficult for me to show you, but I'm going to switch cameras and show you the Ross's goose, I think. I'll have to see if I can find it within this camera's memory card. Hold on, let me switch cameras. Okay. Okay, I think I found it. Yeah, I believe I found it, so... This is a Ross's goose, but unfortunately it's limping. But it does seem to be able to feed just fine, which is a good thing. Not live right now. I just shut off the broadcast a few moments ago, but I heard about this Ross's goose, so I thought I'd come back and take a look. Again, it's sad to see it limp, but as long as it can fly, that's a good thing. I'll bet it can. I'm not sure, but I'll bet it can. And it's able to feed, so maybe it's doing okay. But it is all by itself. And I've seen Ross's goose. Oh, hold on. Snow geese. More snow geese. I'm in the East Road area, so maybe these are more coming in to the Knox Marcellus Marsh. Okay, one more look or two at the Ross's goose. My battery is about to die. I'm hearing a killdeer, maybe two. Okay, let's look at the Ross's goose, which is an adorable goose. Wish I could help it. I'm going to get moving. You really, I didn't report it, but I mean, if I had, what would have happened? The most that could have happened is that someone would have come out for this goose, for the Ross's goose, and you know, they wouldn't be able to catch it. I mean, there's a reason why you hear the phrase wild goose chase. You know, assuming it can fly, if anything, you're just going to cause the goose more stress. So sometimes, you know, it's best to just hope that things go well for it. I mean, and it's part of whatever happened is most likely a part of nature, and you know, it just is what it is. There's only so much that can be done. You know, last year, you may recall, at Sapsucker Woods, there was the great blue heron that had a broken leg, and you know, as sad as that is, what could they have done for it? It could still fly. It just couldn't walk very well. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, a great blue heron needs to walk as it hunts. It makes things a lot easier than that poor great blue heron who had to limp very badly and couldn't walk very well, essentially with one leg. But, you know, if they had tried to chase after it, they would have had a very hard time catching it and, you know, and helping it. So there's only so much you can do. It could be that that goose has had, the Ross's goose has had that injury for years, and maybe it's just happens to be there, and it's not because of its injury, it just happens to be there. That's very possible. I don't know. You know, in my own area, I have seen the last couple of years a Canada goose that limps around, and while I don't know for certain it was the same one each year, I know last year it raised young with its mate there. I don't know ultimately how successful they were. I mean, I know at one point they had, was it 6, I believe? 6 young goslings with them, and slowly but surely the number diminished because things can happen to goslings. But, you know, it just, things like that happen. What could be done for that goose? Nothing. I once, years ago, hoped to go and put food down for some limping geese. They all looked at me, and they were all afraid of me, and they all started going, you know, leaving the area. So, although I would too if I saw me. But, you know, so there's only so much you can do for a bird that can fly. And, you know, sometimes when you try to help them, you just cause them more stress. If you can, you know, reach the bird either without causing it stress or before it can get away, you know, maybe if it's been, you know, if it's in a state where it's not quite so alert, and maybe you can reach it, that's a different story. Anyway, I think we're pretty much done. Obviously, it's very dark out as you're looking at this beautiful view of not birds but a pickup truck, and I think it's time for us to pack up and head home. I hope you've enjoyed the day. I have. We've visited quite a few places, and I really enjoyed a lot of what we saw. I hope you did too. It was mostly the snow geese, but still, I was glad to see it, and I'm glad I was able to just share the Ross's goose with you just now. So, you know, and a little bit of a Arthur sighting at the end of the day doesn't hurt either. So anyway, it's time for me to pack up. I wish you all well. I hope you have a great week, and we will see you all next time. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.